Hello everybody, welcome back to Sci-Fi Read Aloud. We are going to start chapter 18 today. This is going to be a three-parter. It is a little bit of a long chapter, so we'll start today. Chapter 18, Vanikoro. This terrible spectacle was the forerunner of the series of maritime catastrophes that the Nautilus was destined to meet in its route. As long as it went through more frequented waters, we often saw the hulls of shipwrecked vessels that were rotting in the depths, and, deeper down, cannons, bullets, anchors, chains, and 1,000 other iron materials eaten up by rust. However, on the 11th of December, we sighted the Palmetto Islands, the old, dangerous group of Bougainville that extend over a space of 500 leagues to the east-southeast to west-northwest, from the island Ducie to that of Lazaref. This group covers an area of 370 square leagues, and it is formed of 60 groups of islands, among which the Gambier group is remarkable, over which France exercises sway. These are coral islands, slowly raised but continuous, created by the daily work of polypi. Then this new island will be joined later to the neighboring groups, and a fifth continent will stretch from New Zealand to New Caledonia, and from thence to the Marquesas. One day, when I was suggesting this theory to Captain Nemo, he replied coldly, "The Earth does not want new continents, but new men." Chance had conducted the Nautilus toward the islands of Clermont-Tonnerre, one of the most curious of the group that was discovered in 1822 by Captain Bell of the Minerva. I could study now the madreporal system, to which are due the islands in this ocean. Madrepores, which must not be mistaken for corals, have a tissue lined with calcareous crust, and the modifications of its structure have induced M. Milne Edwards, my worthy master, to class them into 5 sections. The animalculae that the marine polypus secretes live by millions at the bottom of their cells. The calcareous deposits become rocks, reefs, and large and small islands. Here they form a ring surrounded by a little inland lake that communicates with the sea by means of gaps. There they make the barriers of reefs like those on the coast of New Caledonia and the various Palmetto Islands. In other places, like those at Réunion and at Maurice, they raise fringed reefs, high straight walls near which some depth of the ocean is considerable. Some cable lengths off the shores of the islands of Clermont, I admired the gigantic work accomplished by these microscopical workers. These walls are specially the work of those madrepores known as milliporas, porites, madrepores, and estrellas. These polypi are found particularly in the rough beds of the sea, near the surface, and consequently, it is from the upper part that they begin their operations, which they bury themselves by degrees with the debris of the secretions that support them. Such is, at least, Darwin's theory, who thus explained the formation of the atolls, a superior theory, to my mind, to that of the foundation of the madreporical works, summits of mountains or volcanoes that are submerged some feet below the level of the sea. I could observe closely these curious walls, for perpendicularly they were more than 300 yards deep, and our electric sheets lighted up this calcareous matter brilliantly. Replying to a question Conseil asked me as to the time these colossal barriers took to be raised, I astonished him by telling him that learned men reckoned it about 1/8 an inch in 100 years. Toward evening, Clermont-Tonnerre was lost in the distance, and the route of the Nautilus was sensibly changed. After having crossed the Tropic of Capricorn at 135 degrees longitude, it sailed west-northwest, making again for the tropical zone. Although the summer was very strong, we did not suffer from heat, for at 15 or 20 fathoms below the surface, the temperature did not rise above from 10 to 12 degrees. On December 15th, we left to the east the bewitching group of the Societies and the graceful Tahiti, Queen of the Pacific. I saw in the morning, some miles to the windward, the elevated summits of the island. These waters furnished our table with excellent fish, mackerel, bonitos, and albacores, and some varieties of a sea serpent called mini-odyssey. On the 25th of December, the Nautilus sailed into the midst of the New Hebrides, discovered by Quiros in 1606, and that Bougainville explored in 1768, and to which Cook gave its present name in 1773. This group is composed principally of 9 large islands that form a band of 120 leagues north-northeast to south-southwest, between 15 degrees and 20 degrees south longitude, and 164 degrees and 168 degrees longitude. We passed tolerably near to the islands of Oro, that at noon looked like a mass of green woods surmounted by a peak of great height. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back with the second part of Chapter 18 tomorrow.